But I think we may have it. I'll be watching the screen while we got it. Very, very weird, but hey, whatever it is at this point. So they're saying they're not seeing us. You can see that they're not seeing us either. Well, that one right there has always been, but they're also reporting they can't see us. Yeah, yeah. But that's all right. They're going to see us right now. Everything's working perfectly. Well, it is working because we've talked about an audio file. So this could have been our very first audio file. Yeah. Where we forget the camera's rolling, and when that happens, I go deep. So that might have been cameras are not rolling. It might have been like one of those things where when you and I are sitting somewhere in private, and I don't think somewhere, I like go down the rabbit hole. You do. And I start trying to get your feedback. So that might have been the universe trying to say, it's okay, we'll let the camera come back up, but you can still go deep. Exactly. So let's do it. So in regards to the DNC, we have to look at it like this. So after watching it, to me, this was a gray hat operation. In my opinion, it was, because clearly many people we saw there aren't people that are even on this earth anymore, in my opinion. Yeah. You believe some is just clemency. I believe that a lot of them aren't the actual people anymore. And in regards to that, if you notice just the lineup alone, virtually every person that they had speak, we would have considered one of the compromised satanic agenda people. Yeah. I mean, I thought about Jamie Raskin when I go like, wait, what the heck? Everybody knows he's about as dirty as they possibly come. Yeah. So they were just rolling out the baddies to me. And it was very, very interesting to me. But I understand where you and other people are coming from, because when you watch it, what the Democrats are very good at is performance. Yeah, absolutely. They can do a show. And they're good at manipulation. So I've seen several videos and pictures from different angles of the DNC, and that place was not filled. Interesting. But the camera angles that the mainstream media was committed to lie to us with, they cut off certain sections of the upper part. They focused on certain sections. They didn't pan around. And when they did, they panned in this one spot. You'll notice, guys, if you go back to it and see it, they pan from center to left and then down, which means they're avoiding something the whole time. So regardless of all that, those are almost virtually, most of them are paid people anyways. And, or they're part of they're part of the history, and they have so much money in their coffers. Yeah. So let's assume it was the bad guys. It was not a good showing for them ultimately, but what they're good at doing is MK Ultra. Yeah. They said in just the first 2 days, they said Trump 147 times. Absolutely. Why are they so obsessed with Trump, right? Yeah. And it's that puts it that also puts it in people's subconscious. Trump. So there's that could be the gray hat, white hat lean to, if we're taking back the strategies and the numbers. I have noticed that more recently, a lot of things that we know that the sinister, Baal worshiping, rules for radicals systems they would use to hold consciousness over the past 50 years, that it makes sense. If it worked, why would we not do it in our advantage, or to either reverse the aspects? So I have noticed that's why it gets confusing, because I have to realize these plays on consciousness and the psychology works for both sides. So why would we not also use them to our benefit if we could? Yeah. So, and then, as I mentioned several times, and I did an interview with Jaco, which you guys should see, is pretty good today. But I mentioned several times that one part that really sickened me the most is the Ashley Biden part, right? That it turned my stomach like crazy. But you know what I noticed is at the end, when they were all celebrating, you know how they do after Biden spoke, right? She was flashing the Baphomet sign. She did. She's not the only one. They had this little kid on stage too, that they were telling what to do. And he, in fact, at first he was flashing the peace sign, and then somebody said something to him. He looked and goes, "Okay," and he put his two fingers together. Was something? If the camera caught that, then that was likely intentional. If it was not part of, could be right. Yeah, you could be. If it was not part of feeding conscious, I'm gonna put myself in this situation and say, okay. I've been part of a system where
all of these sinister things have been happening, all these manipulations. We've been controlling the narrative for decades, and our God, their God, has been controlling it for centuries. So here we have, why would you not, um, if they were in a clemency agreement and someone had gone to them and said, the key people that needed to stay in consciousness, Hillary, Bill, all of these presidents, because they haven't had presidential funerals. So these people have to remain. We know that these other people, Stacey Abrams, all these very prominent figures that were in the Democratic Party, from the governors and stuff, they are no longer a part of this visual. So the people that we're seeing on stage are those that could plausibly fall into the act as if your life depends on it. Obama said in his speech, folks, remember, we have to act as if our life depends on this vote. So here he is mirroring this back. So I made a note of that. So it only makes sense that the key people came out on stage, which are the ones that would have been in these clemency deals where they pulled them out, made them act out of script, and told them that they would have some retributions for their children. Their legacy could be preserved no matter what happens to their fate, or whether or not they're survive. I do believe there's going to be state secrets. Things will be masked behind state secrets to some degree. It's according to what the public demands whenever we become we the people again. It's my opinion.
So before we get off the DNC subject, because it's turning my stomach again.
Yeah, it's tough.
But two things. First, for everybody that's out there, and I asked you to do this too, is I said if you're concerned that they're getting a lot of traction, all you have to do is go to I went to ABC News and the AP, which are liberals. They're Democrat, pretty much leaning operations, and the chat 90 to 95% of people were Trump. So that tells you that they're not getting any traction whatsoever. And then Elon puts out a post, and it was, I think, 73 to 75% Trump and around 25 to 27% Kamala. So that tells you about everything you need to know. But it's so they're either setting up a steal by trying to convince everybody it's a 50-50 race right now, or the good guys are trying to, like you said when I talked to you, you said they're trying, maybe the good guys are trying to motivate people to come out in force, trigger the conservatives and going, okay, we got a fight on our hands. So the margin of victory is even larger. I can see any of those two things being plausible.
Well, I think there's many scenarios going on. One thing that I also noticed is they pulled the trick where they used their Chicago arena, and then on the next night they went to the Milwaukee arena so they could say that they filled both Trump's arena and theirs. So they made that move to give the appearance. So what this leads to me is that they're seeding the consciousness of the public. This sting operation might be going on right up if we have an election. There may not be an election, but should we have an election during a sting operation, they're doing everything lawfully. So they might be, allegedly this amnesty deal comes up on September 3rd. So they might be allowing everybody. So whatever they use during that debate, this would mirror that, whether it's technology, a mask actress, but the mannerisms. And I think that would have been a wise thing to do for them, because people would have remembered her for a long period of time during that period. But I think you might have been the one that may have even posted on this one prominent actress. I personally could see a difference in that actress and this one. So I still believe that whatever the one they used back then, which is allegedly that she wasn't even healthy enough to perform during that period unless she was on some enhancing drug. But
I believe she went down under Obama's era. In my belief system. So let's assume that was an actress. We both agree, I think, that was an actress. The question is which actress. That actress looked even younger, though, than she did in 2016.
She's not aging for whatever reason. So I don't know if that plays into the narrative of the dream.
Or mask, like the silicone mask or something. Who knows?
The voices are good. Whatever technology
they've had
we have
that technology
are good.
since the 70s. MI6 used to use that technology a long time ago.
It's really good.
And they have a voice modulation. They trained for about 2 weeks and then they got it. And it's It's very interesting. Some of them even have assists under the collar.
Oh, interesting. Got it.
Okay, so Obama, real or fake guy?
That's a tough one because this one looks a lot like the original. The mannerisms, the enthusiasm, the delivery of a speech, and I could say the same deal would apply. He would have been the key ones that if he were still alive, or whomever they had pulled in to be a double towards the end phase, is the same, appears to be the same person. And if these people have children, whether or relatives that they want to preserve their legacy, they would have a motivation had they kept him alive for him to perform that way. So I without seeing an analog of his departure, I did see a video of when it appeared that they had arrested Michelle and Obama coming down the stairs. There was a video that I got from one of my intel officers that showed her out of partial makeup in a dress, but not fully makeup, them tossing them into a van. And this was allegedly when they took them in for the, you know, for to have an arrest, to go from there. So we never know what videos are authentic and which videos are not, because CGI can be used on both sides. But to answer your question, it's a good double.
So you think it's probably a good double?
It's a good double or him.
Yeah. Well, if it's him, it would align with things I've read about that he pretty much flipped on everybody, right? And if he flipped on everybody, then possibly he's still out there, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be held accountable.
Yep.
But we don't know.
We had a conversation where I was suspecting the further we got along that some of these people, like Obama, might have still be around and might be convinced to participate in the solution at some point.
Yeah, well, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Big Mike or Michelle or an actress?
You know, as much empirical evidence that's coming out there about not only with the Joan Rivers video, not only with people in our network of patriots using their discernment, they emphatically believe that that is a woman. I still am, only because I know people that know these people personally, and it's never, they would have kept their private, but there's never been any rumor or anything. I don't know if that's part of the plausible deniability of the operation. I just don't know. I do know she did talk about in vitro fertilization. If that is a man, it is one of the best Baphomet representations that we have seen out there. Even though she's big and all these other things, I just don't know how you could pull that off so well. But
so here's
no answer here.
You and I disagree.
Yeah,
but I think it's if you look at pictures of Michael Yvonne Robinson, that's the same dude. I think it's.
I agree.
I think you can't say it. So I believe it was a guy. Now I believe what you saw yesterday was neither Big Mike or Michelle Obama. I believe that was an actress, and that was a female actress.
Good actress.
In fact, even my wife pointed out some things on her and said, "That's a female." She said there. She says, "That's not a man. That's not Big Mike." So
that resonates.
So it's possible that it could be both. Like who we're seeing now could be a female.
Yeah.
But the illustration of what we've seen may have been a male.
You know, one thing that led me to believe that is we have Oprah Winfrey at this, and she talks to Gail, or here talking in the conversation, post her speech about, oh, Michelle, she would have, they are so close. They would have all been together unless they were being kept apart by their handlers, you know. So she talked about how, oh yeah, I heard she was here. They would have known who was going to be there. They were pretending like they didn't know so-and-so was at the event.
Good point.
Until they were there. These people, if they were able to communicate, which part of the clemency thing that I recorded in my article was that you can't talk to anyone. You can't admit that you're part of the program. So this would play into that narrative as well.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that makes perfect sense. Regardless of what's going on, we know one thing. It's wacky. It is wacky.
It's wacky.
Here, let me play this for y'all real quick. There you go, guys. It's still working. Hey, look at that.
Awesome.
So we had so much fun last week with this thing. This is Alan's brainchild right here. It's a spinning wheel. It's really cool. We're sponsored by VerityMetals.com. Well, we don't really have a sponsorship, but he sponsors a tour, and he's been so great to us that we want to make sure we put his logo on here. And
Really
he doesn't
nice
quite know that I'm giving away silver coins. He'll find out tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Because of the coins from last week and whatever we give away this week.
Yeah.
He'll know. But this is really fun. So we spin the wheel. Topics come up randomly. It is a lot of fun. Are you ready for the spinning wheel, my friend?
Absolutely. You go for it.
All righty. Down and out she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Yeah, it's been good today.
Oh, that'd be big.
Yeah, Alan has hooked it up. Bump, 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 bump. Oh, is it gonna? Oh, you just missed silver. So if you missed last week, what happens here is we have 3 spots where we give away silver coins. 1 is 1 coin, 2 is 2 coins, 3 is 3 coins. So we almost made it. But in the meantime, what does that say, Alan? It says Midtown
Oh,
Atlanta. What was that?
wow. This is something that you and I haven't talked about.
Oh, cool.
There was an interview with Jaco and is it Nathan Reynolds?
Nathan Reynolds.
Nathan Reynolds that inspired me, and you've been encouraging me to talk about some real things that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, okay, I'm going to take note from this gentleman who was so brave in this Michael Jaco interview with his faith and his trust in his divine journey. I've had some very frightening experiences, not like on the level he has. This guy is a true warrior of God and also a warrior soldier. But I've had some experiences that the average public, no way could they understand. And I haven't talked about them, but and there's some that I won't talk about. But Midtown Atlanta is where I had some events happen to me that I can't explain, that happened with agencies, about 4 different things that I haven't really told in public. And I thought I would be brave and kind of just share some of these experiences. That's why I brought the meditation bowl, so that after I talk about it, I can do the meditation bowl and get grounded again in case it triggers me.
Love it.
So one of the stories that to let the public know how protected the deep state is, I had been going into the Georgia legislature trying to get laws changed. And so they were fighting me secretly. There was so much things going on around me. I had been moved into a building that was a containment building. I was being handled by a lobbyist. And so being an intuitioner and someone who follows the money, I had tracked everything that was going on. It had happened to me. And they knew that I was trying to secure my lost resources from life because I spent so much time, as all survivors do. When you're distracted from your normal career pattern, it gets you off your security for retirement. So I was going to try to do a civil lawsuit because it was a large corporation. We know that this Bilderberg mask of corporations are part of the deep state. So I had exposed the corporation any civil action.
Right.
So what happened is they made me they messed with me so much. They had a police officer, security guard from the guy come over to me. There was this guy, he was pretending almost like he was in another dimension. Like I was the only one that could see him and the other people couldn't. I swear that if there was any way to be in another dimension or realm, these characters were dressed like men in black. They were in another dimension because the security guard, I was talking to the guy who was like a men in black type person, and and then he looks over and he says, "Talk to the security guy. He doesn't know I'm here." Because I was talking off to the security guy. The security guy was telling me that I shouldn't be, that they were going to want me to not trespass in this area. And so I turned and I was explaining these things to this mystery guy, and he goes, "Well, you need to talk to him. He can't see me." It was the weirdest friggin' thing that I've ever experienced. So what I did is I went all over this Colony Square Mall.
Can I ask you
Yeah,
a question
yeah.
on that real quick? Is it possible that they were all actors and
They
the
could
security
gaslighting me.
and the security guy was pretending not to see? I mean, could it be that
It could have been
sophisticated?
it could have been a gaslighting event for them to make me go out and repeat things that would
Make you
validate.
look crazy.
Well, the goal was for me to have a paranoid personality disorder. That became the theme, and I never played into it
Nice.
because I was confident enough in my reality and my mental faculties. But thank you for saying that, because that is more logical than me seeing another person. So they kept following me around, and what I did is I went over, I pulled the fire alarm in this building.
Wow.
They scattered like fleas.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you took your power.
I took my power back and let them know that, you're not intimidating me, and so they were trying to go into my safety deposit box and get those names. So they did that whole ritual for that routine. And then this was the first episode. So these are some things that I haven't talked about to let you know how desperate these people are to.
Unless he's connected to somebody that he can tell on.
Yeah.
And there's almost always a connection to somebody that is of what you would consider significance in the community, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they're so desperate, because they want to know who's on that list. Because if they say one of these two people were on the list and they know that this guy knows this bad guy that's like the mayor of a town, then they do everything they can to cover it up.
Well,
I mean, everything. And I could absolutely believe that they put in a team of actors to make you feel like you're just wacky. But the fact that you pulled the fire alarm, I think, is epic, because you literally.
I've never been able to tell people that because I thought it was pretty gangster.
It is gangster.
It is gangster.
It is gangster.
So this is kind of why I got in. They didn't know what to do with me. And unless that was another crisis actor skit. But thank you for pointing out that was probably a gaslighting, so that I would go out and repeat this, and they could show footage of a man clearly being there, and they would say, yes, he's paranoid. This matches the doctors they've already compromised and had them write things in their files and gave them high-powered jobs, and part of me is sensitive to, now that I know how big the problem is. I don't know how much of the operation was from people who really loved me and knew about how dangerous it was, and I didn't. So there's another element of this, even though it's not right. It's not right to not go for protecting children. There's an element where I have to question, were they trying to protect me?
Okay, you've said this before privately to me, and I don't always understand. Were they trying to protect you by doing nefarious things to you, or I'm confused? What do you mean?
When I say protect me, meaning that I was going down a path that clearly they might have had the knowledge that I didn't, but they couldn't tell me the knowledge for some reason.
I see.
So they tried to possibly
they were gaslighting you, tricking you, trying to freak you out, things like that, in order to prevent you from going somewhere. So you don't know that they know, but you're not going to get harmed because they want to shut you up.
I had a brother.
That's an interesting concept.
I had a brother who did everything in his power to assist my healing, and I was just determined. I'm gonna fix before I leave this earth. God had told me, this is your plan, this is your path, and so I honored God. But I had a brother who did everything for me to be healed by it, and I never could figure out, why can't I do the justice path? Because there is no justice path. They may have known this, and I didn't. So I was going to forge a path.
Interesting. So your brother could have known what's going on.
He could have known,
and he knows this is too heavy for my brother, and
I'm going to I'm going to try to protect him, because we were very close.
They disassociated themselves from you at the same time, right?
What they did, which would mean that I became a case that needed professionals.
Interesting.
Maybe a major sophisticated crisis.
Turned it to a higher level operation.
To a crisis control team, maybe. Everything is speculation. No one has come to me and said, I just know that it's wrong to molest kids. It's wrong to disrupt their life. It's wrong to not let them have a chance at life. And I was speaking for all the 60 million part of this system. And so I went gangster and pulled the fire alarm.
So, you, in regards to the lawsuit that you were the whistleblower on, right? Did they end up? I believe it settled for over $1 billion or something
Oh,
like
what
that.
it is that one of the laws I was working on was called the Hidden Predator Act of Georgia. And there was a team out of a think tank out of Pennsylvania who was going around the country, a constitutional attorney who was changing the state constitutions to allow for suits to happen. But what happened is I was 53 at the time, and I knew that I was unlikely to be able to recover the losses I would have made in my lifetime had I stayed on a steady path. I took 20 years out to heal. It reminded me of Nathan Reynolds, of what he did to heal himself to get his power back. So that took me out of and I had a medical crisis at the time that I didn't know that I would recover from. So I was trying to secure. My biggest thing is I have a compassion for people who die. They're doing their bidding. They're helping them, so they protect them.
So with all this, your journey has been tough, right?
Challenging.
And
Yeah.
the healing process seems to be even tougher sometimes for you. And I mean, I'm doing everything I can to
I
help
know
you with
you are.
that.
You've been a gift. I'm telling you. I don't know what I would do.
No, I appreciate that, but at the same time, I can be hard on you too sometimes
And
also.
I like that. I like that.
So how are you in that journey right now?
I will tell you, the more days and time I have where I can have predictability and not another episode or event, I will tell you that some of the frightening events I've had could have been a behavioral modification because I was participating in a self-destructive behavior that was not in my best interest. And so during that process, it could have been a way of masking someone's participation in my life to be confusing. But as I said in my speech in San Diego, after these events, I came to a better side. But I was always left confused because I'm an analytical person, and I try to go back and reverse engineer things.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm getting to the point, now that you've been a part of my life and other people, and I had a great friend in Fort Lauderdale, and something that Robert talks about is Abraham Hicks and all these positive aspects of turning it positive. Well, you and your wife Araceli came to see me one time and inspired me to flip and get on the positive side, and that was very powerful. And you had reverted a trip from somewhere just to come by to give me that gift because you've been very grounding for me. And I think having people in my life and realizing that I'm in the orbit of a lot of people that are connected, even though my experience has been with a lot of them, there has been people that are connected to one another, and I've been able to see a safety pattern in their relationships. And so I'm beginning to build trust. And so my healing, every time that a week passes and there's no event and positive things happen for me, that's part of my healing because I'm rebuilding a history, of after 10 years of warfare. And who knows what my true journey was from a divine perspective, plus from a military perspective. It's clearly that I am doing something in the realm of consciousness, and who knows how God designs that in alignment with the military.
So yeah, when I talk to you and I've been watching you over the years and reading the incredible work that you do, I get three things. I get courage, I get tragic, and I get beautiful.
Wow.
At the same time, right?
That's awesome.
And I've been watching your transition over the years, and I think you're extraordinarily courageous.
Wow.
But your fight isn't easy.
No.
But as I've said before, it's simple. And it's because you just need a few things to focus on that are very simple.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's easy. And people get those two words confused. And I say all the time, simple is God's work, complicated is something else.
Yeah.
Right. But simple just means it's you can just focus on it and it's done. But sometimes it takes a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we all move forward and slip backwards and so on and so forth. But Wow. What an amazing journey
Well,
that you're sharing with us today.
I think the fact that you've come into my life slowly. You know, I'm sure that y'all were vetting me as much as I vetted everybody else and tried to get the fact that you let me into your life and your family embraced me when I would come visit. That's been a major healer for me because I've kind of I'm displaced from my biological genetic family right now, and having that replacement has been healing. And watching your families, it's like I keep thinking, am I in the Truman Show? Are there really families that are this dysfunctional? You know, it's like it's unbelievable. So it's been a gift. That's been part of my healing,
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
thankful.
looking for all the praise, but thank you.
Well, I'm being honest.
We
I'm
appreciate
being
you.
honest.
And
You know.
only thing I'll correct is we didn't vet you.
Oh,
God vetted
okay.
you. He just let us know.
Got it.
It literally
Well,
was
you explained it that way, and that's interesting. Yeah.
literally that easy. My wife was absolutely a no-go. Nobody's ever moving into our house, nothing like that. And I said, hey, what do you think about Alan? She goes, yeah, let's do it. I mean, it was
Wow.
like that. And I'm like, wow, that was a shocker, right?
That was amazing. Yeah.
So it's amazing. So we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can be part of the healing and growth process for you. But you're wonderful to have around, wonderful to talk to.
I appreciate it.
So now that the Mutual Admiration Society
Can
is
I
over,
ring the bell and get us back
ring
into
the bell, and then let's get over here.
Now we're centered and we're back.
Is there a certain frequency that you know about on that
I
one?
have no idea. This is part of a gift from the last family I was staying with. They always gave me incredible Christmases the times that I was with them.
Can I grab it?
Yes, you certainly can.
I want to see something because
It won't do it in your hand. It'll have to be.
I have. Wow, let's see them. I
Right.
have one upstairs.
Oh,
Let's see if it works.
I want a glass one like
well,
Jacob has.
So I have one upstairs. It's really cool. We'll bring it out next time.
Excellent.
And yeah, Jacob has some incredible ones, and they're not cheap. I'll tell you. My wife and I priced them out.
Excellent.
All right, guys, we're spinning the wheel. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying this conversation, because I know it's a little different than you see other places for sure. Round and round it goes. Where it stops,
Nobody
only
knows.
Alan knows.
Only God knows.
I love whatever you did to this. It's rocking and rolling. It's great. All right. Anybody gets
Silver? No.
Oh, silver? Oh, just missed silver.
Oh, no.
Okay, SES, Senior Executive Service.
Interesting. Have you ever studied it? Researched it?
Enough. Not enough, but
I've mastered it.
I was going to say, so let's see if I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Because they're the funding control arm within the deep state cabal government apparatus, correct? And they're the ones that move money around and pay to have certain things happen, and people act a certain way to accomplish things. Am I close?
They are definitely a part of that. I'll give you a little overall narrative. Back in 1979, Jimmy Carter was in office, and this is when they first started the Senior Executive Services. And what it is it's an agency of bureaucrats. At the time, it was 1,500 bureaucrats during Jimmy Carter's reign. And what they did is they basically are the ones who run America, and they run the geopolitical narratives outside of America. We think that it's Congress. So these agents are like Lindsey Graham was one of the. I'm sorry, Lindsey Graham was the Bilderberg. Let me reverse that. But he's also senior executive service. The seventh floor FBI members, Peter Strzok, he's a senior executive service member. Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook is a senior executive service member. People don't realize these are the people that get a contract for life that gives them upwards of $199,000 to $999,000 a year, like Anthony Fauci is a senior executive services member. So these people are the ones that are holding down the fort of the deep state. So these SES members, they are what they do is they give them an income and a job for life so that they hold on to the secrets. So they have an incredible life. So Sheryl Sandberg became the CEO of Facebook. She got her Facebook salary plus her senior executive services salary. So what happened is when Obama came into office, he installed 7,000 more senior executive service members. And this was allegedly to bring in the 16-year plan of Hillary and Obama, which is what's playing out right now with the Iran situation. They had engaged Iran to nuke America, is what was going to happen. Had this Trump operation not stepped in and usurped it with this brilliant military operation. So these are the people that are running America. And what Trump massively did was he took away their money, allegedly. In 2019, he did what is called a reduction in force, which is they're managed through the Office of Management. It's kind of like the HR for the SES. So he couldn't fire them, but what he could do was take their money away. And allegedly, we shut down the government for 30 days. So the government had to be fully shut down for 30 days, which we did January of 2019. That allowed him to pull their money. So they were working for free at that point. This is what I researched and uncovered. It's in an article and one of my things.
Where
So
would
this
the
is an overview.
documentation be of the salaries that they were getting?
It might be in the article I have in my blog. There's on American. There's a full STEMIT report on the senior executive services. Talks about their money, and I'll have to research to find out where. It may say it in this article, but the information I had at the time, it was from 199 to 999. What was the salary of Fauci? Because he was the number one highest paid senior executive service government member. And that's been his salary as his job, not as an SES member.
Right. His public salary, I think, was like $450,000. It was more than the president of the United States.
Well, the senior executive service members, I think it's in the article in my blog on the very first page. This is why I think the guy from the Army of Northern Virginia, he locked that article in to be the header of my blog. It used to be 7 spaces down. And when he came into my life, they took over my computer.
Wow.
And he locked that to be the first leading article.
So he thought that was important.
He thought it was very important because the title of the article is about, it talks to the Khazarian Mafia, the senior executive services. I covered all of them. So the very first article in my blog is what they wanted to be known as happening. He sent it to 180 countries.
How does it feel to be so far ahead of the narrative?
It feels good now that we're on this side. You know, all along the way, it was very isolating and lonely, you know, and lonesome because I lost friends who can't comprehend this because we're shame-based society. Yeah. People will not touch shame. The Vatican weaponized shame to deflect the public from doing conspiracy theories. So anything that could appear a conspiracy theory and not part of being accepted, people don't have the courage to step outside of risk, knowing who they are, you know. And so,
well, listen to that. He said the Vatican weaponized shame. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, yeah. Alan, real quick, tell them your blog, and then we're going to take a 2-minute break here.
You got it. And I'm going to do it this time like someone who is under 60 and just go straight in, because last time I used the www and you corrected it. My blog is the letter G, the number F, the number 4, JUSTICE.com, GeorgiaFamiliesForJustice.com, or you can just Google my name or Georgia Families for Justice, and it goes to the blog, and it's also on my LinkedIn, on all of my Facebook and social media.
Cool. But, we'll be right back.
In a time of great division.
All righty. Like they say, we're back. We're back. I'm drinking hot tea today because it was so cold in here when we started. I started to cut a hole in my shirt. So
I run warm. I'm like a hairy heater. I know your wife is she gets cold.
Yeah, she gets cold. I go up and down. Who knows? This is the wheel of spinning fun. And Verity Metals is on here. People are asking, what does silver mean? Silver means if we land on a silver one, we give out at least 1 silver coin to somebody watching live or right now. We'll tell you how that works if we land on one.
I think we gave 3 last week, right?
Yeah, we did. We did. Actually, we gave 5, and Tom was nice enough to give 2 of them back that we're going to give away on the Unity Tour.
Oh, nice.
Folks, we're going to close it out here in about 15 minutes because I'm going live with Ethan Lucas on his show. I think that'll be my 5th interview today. Thank God Ethan talks a lot, so I'll just be a fly on the wall, but it'll be good. We're covering something pretty cool. All right, here we go with another spin. Oops, something flip off there. Oh, a peg. We lost a peg. Well, that's all right. Oh, and it landed on where we lost a peg, anyways. Oh, remote viewing. Interesting enough.
Nice. Just read up on it. I can't wait to hear you talk about it.
It's funny because I just did an interview today with Michael Jaco, and I had no intention of speaking about remote viewing, but of course we went there.
The universe has got you going twice.
Because I was teasing him, and I forgot what I said. I go, "You're pretty good, but too bad I'm a better remote viewer than you." I don't know what it was, and we started
punching his buttons.
Yeah, we started a talk about it, which is pretty interesting. So, so in my experience, let me think, I think I could almost nail the year. Let's say, I believe, yeah, let's go just about 1994. I'm listening to the Art Bell Show, Coast to Coast Radio, if anybody's familiar with that. You're getting a lot of people in chat go, me, I know that, right? All those old folks. And listening to Art Bell, and I remember he lived in Pahrump, Nevada at the time, and he had a guest on talking about astral projection. So I ended up buying the book, and this astral projection they were talking about actually happened while you were sleeping, right?
Yeah.
And therefore they taught you, and there's some really cool things. And I felt I was never effective at it. One of the things, I think they may have made a mistake in a book because it really screwed me up. One of the things it says, if you can hear yourself snore, you're just now leaving your body. And what happened is every time I started to hear myself snore, right, I would get excited. I'm like, oh, here I go, right? And I would pop right back in, right? So I never was successful back in the day. And then a few years ago, I got some training by Michael Jaco, and he only took me through a couple of trainings, but something that hit at that time, now I was able to do it while I was awake. Awesome. And the remote viewing is amazing. It turned out I was more of a remote influencer healer. Like I don't really see the future. And if I do see events that may be in the future, I don't know. They just come to me. I really don't know what those are. So I don't talk about that too much. And honestly, I'm not as confident with that.
Carolyn Myss does what you're just describing, the healing part of that.
Yeah.
Have you read her books?
No.
I'm going to get them for you.
So interesting you say, have I read the books? So when I started to remote view per people's request in my inner circle, right? And some had some situations. Some of them really wanted me to fight demons or witches or whatever it was, right? I was very skeptical. And even Michael mentioned on his show today, he goes, I was very skeptical, but I was open, which I think is very healthy. A skepticism, but an open skepticism. So what happened though is I go, okay, they would say, here's what I want. Here, can you remote view me? And they started to tell me, and I go, no, don't tell me anything. All right, what? I go, don't tell me anything. I'm not interested. I said, if it's going to be real, it's real. I don't want you to prompt me with anything. I want to figure out, make sure there's some ability there, and so on and so forth. So anyways, they're like, really, that's crazy. And I started to have a lot of success when I'd report back to these people because they wouldn't tell me anything. I'd say, this is going on, this. I saw this and this and this. Even the color of the roof, your fence around your house, weird things, right? And I was nailing it, which is crazy. And then there was this one person, which I won't name. She was in my inner circle, and a friend of hers was really struggling. And she says, I don't know what's going on with her. I feel like she's having some type of attacks or anything. And I'm on the phone. I remember literally right here walking back and forth in my backyard. And I said, hold on a second. I said, is she about late 30s, early 40s? Does she have brunette hair, but she has very shiny blonde streaks in her hair, like she's really in shape. I mean, I named all these things, and she paused, and I go, you there? I'm not going to say her name, but I said, you said her name. I said, you there? You there? You there? She goes, check your phone. She
Oh
sent me a
no.
picture of her,
Oh wow. Wow.
and I nailed it.
Wow.
I go, wow, I guess I should go. So she asked her friend for permission. Her friend said yes. And then I did a remote influencing and I saw crazy, crazy things.
Yeah.
And I learned how to fight these beasts
Yeah.
with love and with energy and all this other stuff going on. And it seemed like I was pretty successful, but I'm like, did I do right? Am I, what's going on here? She took a breath at the end. She was laying in her bed and she felt really relieved. It's very interesting. And when I kept asking myself, did I do right? These 9 people where you could only see them from like the waist up. So I don't know if they're sitting down or not. There's 9 people and they almost looked judgy. They're in their 50s, this 80 years old, and they're sitting there, male and female. And I'm looking over and they gave me like a nod of approval. They're like, yeah,
Awesome.
you nailed it. And then somebody later said, do you know what that was? Right. And I said, no. They said that was a council of 9 or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know what that
Nice.
was. I'm like,
Yeah, I've
wow.
heard that term before.
So is that what
Yeah,
it is?
that is
Okay,
council. Yeah, yeah.
cool. So I never talk about this stuff. So it's interesting that you would
I put it on there because I wanted you. I was hoping it would go to
it
it.
was a setup.
I've started reading about it, and this is people that do well. This is under the category of clairvoyance. So I read about it, and I have this book on esoteric topics, and I started reading it. I thought fantastic. This is clairvoyance. I used to astral travel, so I didn't realize that it was part of that ability, to be within the ethers and recall things. But I'm fascinated by it. I think I might, when I'm a little more along my healing journey, get some advice and start reading and just seeing if it's something that I could enjoy doing or participating.
It's absolutely beautiful. I have to say, for
It's
me,
it's a psychic gift.
but everybody has it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing that really frustrates me. If people, I'm not frustrated when people say, oh, that's BS. You can't do it, because that's their
We
opinion.
all can.
That's
The
their
humans.
opinion. That doesn't even frustrate me. I'm not frustrated when people talk ill will of it or whatever. What frustrates me is when people say, "Oh, well, I could never do anything like that," because we all have these
Pineal
abilities.
gland.
I am so not special compared to anybody
Yeah.
else. I'm just open and
Well, many people might think you
and
are.
I
You
believe
might
you're
not.
yeah, special in
But
a whole different way. But
but that's the human gift. We know that the pineal gland is something that's been blocked intentionally
exactly
by
right.
many devices. So with the unblocked pineal gland, which I'm sure you've been mindful,
Oh yeah,
no drugs, no
intentional.
alcohol, the way
Never.
you manage your life, yours has got to be like sparking like a Wi-Fi router. You know.
Yeah, I don't like to play with that stuff.
Yeah.
And a long time ago, I learned that. I was in martial arts when I was in a lot younger, and frankly, I smoked weed for 30 days straight when I was 14, and I've never really done anything since.
Yeah.
I had one day I did something when I was 19, and that was literally it for the rest. And I'm 59 now, so for the last 40 years, and I never drank alcohol.
Yeah.
It just never was a thing. But the reason why is because even when I was younger, I wanted to be part of my own faculties,
Yeah.
and I never wanted to be in a situation where I couldn't help somebody or
Yeah.
help myself. So that's why I never
Yeah.
went down that road. And I've had many people say, "Hey, you're safe with us, dude. Just come on, let's do it." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Nah."
Yeah. I escaped.
So interesting enough. So we have. I will say though, remote influencing and healing, I don't do very often now. It's busy. I'm intentionally working in the 3D realm, trying to wake everybody up and trying to get people to push in a certain direction. It's very tiring. It's steam. I don't know if maybe it's because
Got a good audio book for you.
I don't know, but it's exactly. So we have a few more minutes here. So let's spin one more time. And then I have Ethan waiting on the other side.
Ethan.
We need to get a silver on here. Somebody win a silver.
Silver.
Nope.
Nope.
Manifesting. Well, that's an hour show. I don't know if we have time to go into manifesting.
Should we carry it forward? Do a little.
Why don't we give away silver anyway?
Well, let's give away silver.
And we could do manifesting
We're manifesting
next time.
silver into everyone's life.
We're manifesting silver. So, guys,
let's do it.
We have this special app right here, right? By the way, thank you to Verity Metals, veritymetals.com for the silver. We have this cool little app here. I'll find it. It's called a randomizer. So the way this works, folks, is put in the chat between 1 and 100. Pick a number, any number. If you select twice, you are automatically eliminated. So you have to be live right now. So make sure you click. If I say click the live button, it's gonna be too late anyways. If you're not seeing it, so you got to go 1 to 100. Put in there, and we're giving away a silver coin. Let's give away 2. We're gonna give away 2. So I will. Here we go. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Yep, we got to get set. All right. So the last number that was on there, y'all ready? We'll give them another second to put it in here.
I love the way you.
In the meantime, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you tell them about some of your favorite nutrition on the whole wide planet?
Yeah, I will. I discovered this was back in June of last year. I had met Lance while I was on a tour in Fort Lauderdale, and I was trying to find some a supplier of nutrients that I trusted, because after hearing about all of the parts of this corporate thing where they were trying to poison us, I didn't trust any of the main brands that were very popular. So I started researching it, and he sent me some products, and I've been using them ever since. The pine needle extract, the pine needle extract, and the mushrooms, and which I loved was the fulvic acid, which when you're using ivermectin.
Time's up on the numbers, guys. We got enough.
So the fulvic acid helps pull out the impurities of while you're going through the hertzing of the ivermectin. So I went through a whole bottle, within a month, but I felt so much better after it. I told you how I was using his products for that whole period in Florida. I looked the best I ever have. I felt the best I ever have. And then I got distracted and didn't follow up with my orders until here recently, a month ago. And now I'm back in that cycle. I drink his coffee, which is fantastic.
And give your link.
My link, I don't know what the link is. It's in the past podcast.
Yeah,
the link for link tree.
It's in the description below.
In the description down below. I'm definitely proud of what Lance is doing, and I'm supporting him. So if you want to go to his catalog, go to his catalog in the link below this. It also helps support me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. And so let's go to the number now. Do you have the chat on?
Yep, I have the chat on.
So
I'm monitoring it.
Scroll back to the first
I got it
number.
beginning.
Okay, cool.
Which was 7.
Here we go. It's not 71, guys. That's what was there before. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Number is 93. Ooh, that's a high one. Who is 93 or closest to 93?
Okay, we got.
Well, Alan's looking for that. It's funny enough, you just saw my belly on the screen. And when I looked over the screen, it reminded me, my wife says, straighten up your posture. Yeah, she's not even in the room, and her voice was in my head.
I'm glad we have the audience out there that can help. Yeah, I'm thinking okay. Here we are. I go double check this, but I think it's the 88.
I was looking at that, Mariana, right?
Yep, I believe is the closest.
Is that the closest?
Marianne, 1955.
Okay, Mariana, 1955. Congratulations. Don't worry, we're going to do one more spin based on the numbers we already have. So Mariana, 1955. Please email it says Marcia Brady got it 87.
Oh, but 93, right, was the number.
Yeah. So you're right. So Mariana got it closer. Okay. So Mariana, email us at screwbidgov@protonmail.com. put silver in the subject line, screwbiggov@protonmail.com, put silver in the subject line, and just
Oh, wait a minute. Did that come in last?
too late.
Too late. Got it.
Well, unless it's just came in, yeah, it doesn't matter. So please put that in and make sure you put your address. Give us your address. It looks like so that was the closest one. Is that right?
Mary Ann, correct. That's validated.
Okay, so we're gonna do one more based on the numbers we already have, guys. So don't give us any more numbers. Here we go. Randomizer. Oh, geez, 94.
94. Oh no.
Well, okay. So who is the one that was right above?
There's one in 87.
Yeah, who was the 87?
That's
Marsha Brady.
Marsha Brady.
Marsha Brady. Marsha Brady number 2. Same thing. Please email us at screwbiggov@protonmail.com and give us your address and put silver in the subject line. And congratulations to both of you for winning silver. Thank you to Verity Metals and veritymetals.com. Well, Alan,
that 2 pieces.
Yeah,
awesome.
That about does it because I have to jump over now. I got to run upstairs and be with Ethan Lucas on his show. I'll probably be out of breath by that time. Let's close it out. We love you, folks.